Hello my friends and welcome back. Today I'm going to give you guys exactly what you asked for in my last video, the Soltech Solutions video, which I'll link there. You guys asked a lot about the light itself, the PAR, and then one more thing you guys asked about was the humidifier, which really didn't come to a surprise to me because it's one of the best looking humidifiers out there. I'll go through the pros and cons of that humidifier and then stay to the end of the video where I'll answer a lot of your other questions. In my last video, you guys asked a lot about this humidifier. I guess you guys like it just the same reason I like it. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking humidifier with a long gooseneck. It's from Itvania. Why do I buy stuff that I can't pronounce? There's a lot of downsides with it and a lot of upsides. As you can see here, it shoots like just a nice rainbow. That way I can point it directly to where I kind of want it, which is right above the elbow, the monsters, and a few cuttings like this Florida Beauty here, Crystal Hope, and the Queen Anthurium there. So I listed the pro about it, how you can just face where it wants it to go. Some humidifiers have dual nozzles, so you can face one way, face one the other way. This one just has one, and it just shoots up like a rainbow and comes down. And it has 3 modes. Let me just turn it off real quick. Just hold that to turn it off. So the downside of this humidifier, right? You take off the top head, and there's always water that accumulates at this head right here. Just because it hits like this top, there's all this condensation in there and it just drops down. And so you get water droplets kind of everywhere. And then you have to lift up the little handle here, lift it up like so. And then there's also water at the bottom, of course. So you have to worry about 2 spots, whereas my Levoit has only a top fill, so you just got to worry about the bottom, dripping water, and you just fill it from the top. Look at all this water that accumulated in there, right? We're just gonna bring it over to the sink right now and fill it up. All right, so over at the sink here, always got to flip it upside down. And if your hands are wet, which they usually are because the bottom here is always wet, it's kind of hard to twist, so you just do your best. And this is where all the little, it looks like leca. So just purifies your water if you have hard water. A lot of these humidifiers do have this, so run your water into it. And if you have distilled water, it's way better because you don't have to clean it as much. But if you don't, then get your vinegar ready because you kind of have to clean this every month. All right. The downside of this compared to my Levoit one, it doesn't have Bluetooth, and I like my Bluetooth one. It tells me, hey, you need to clean it or you need to fill it up, it's empty. There we go. Has a cool little handle there where you can carry, and you just kind of have to put your hand under there because water always drips. So let's go back and put it back on the base. Okay, back here at the base, which I'll talk about a little bit right now before I put this back on. A few modes here. You have low, medium, high, and then you have the automatic, which the sensor back here, it reads what kind of relative humidity there is in the room, and then it just judges it from there. And then you have night mode, and on the back here there's also, you put your essential oils there, and then this is a carbon activated filter that goes there. Line it up, there's a little notch right here in the back that goes to the back there. There's a water indicator here. Put the gooseneck on, like so. Turn it on, and just like that, it should work. It should work. Okay, there you go. Do I like this? Will I buy it again? Absolutely. I only got it for $35. You have to pay full price if you can't get it used, which is, I think, $80. I like this specifically because it has the rainbow effect, right? And then it comes down and drops all over my plants, keeps it nice and humid only to this area. There's a heater down here, and then I put a fan here. It kind of just drips down, so whatever the plants don't catch, it gets sucked up into this little cheap fan here and blows out to the rest of the room, and just keeps this section at a very high humidity where the rest of my house is around 50. This section just gets really, really blazing hot because it is a heater, it is winter, it runs all day, every day, and it keeps it nice and warm. That's all I gotta say about that, I guess. so before we begin, let's talk about some terminology here because we can get a little bit lost, but it may get a little bit nerdy, but it's really the only way to move forward here. Okay, so first let's talk about foot candles. So what is a foot candle? So 1 foot candle is a measure of light intensity. 1 foot candle is enough light to saturate 1 foot square with 1 lumen of light. So what is a lumen? So the lumen measures how much light you're getting from one single bulb. The more lumens, the more light that bulb is giving off. So think about lumens as how you measure pounds to a banana or something. All right, so next, what is a lux, right? A lux is Latin for light. It's the amount of illumination provided when 1 lumen is evenly distributed over an area of 1 square meter. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't. So what is a ppfd? So ppfd is a photosynthetic photon flux. What the heck is that? In generic terms, right? ppfd and lux are units used to measure the intensity of light. Whereas lux is universally used to measure and compare the brightness of a visible light, ppfd is referring to the amount of light suitable for active photosynthesis of plants. ppfd, photosynthesis go hand in hand. The more ppfd from a bulb, the more photosynthesis happens for your plants. I'm already lost. Okay, so I have the cheapest power meter here. I bought it for $35. This is the rechargeable one by Quantum Sun. I'll have the links down below. So we're gonna put that right above this elbow leaf here. This beautiful elbow leaf with the beautiful fenestrations. 121.6. So that is how many micromoles per second that right here is giving off. But I wanna do it right underneath the light here. Let me push you guys back here. We're gonna give it 16 inches from the light. So right about there. 476, I put it on hold right there. So 476, that is 16 inches underneath the Soltech Solutions large. We're gonna measure 16 inches. So 452. So this light here is a GE bulb. It has a cooler Kelvin. As you can see, it's more whitish, and the other one is more amber. I really like the amber one in the wintertime, but as you can see here, the blue always gives you a better vegging or just growing Kelvin, I guess you can say, and the other one gives you a more flowering, more warm. I believe it was $25 for that price. That is pretty ridiculously good. And although you have to buy your own light fixture and all that, I got this one from IKEA. It works. It works great. If you guys are on a budget, I would definitely 100% go with this bulb. All right, so over here we have the Sansi bulb. I think this is the 10-watt one, 16 inches. So right where the top of that cork bark is, right? That gave us 97.57. For this is just a 10-watt bulb. I believe it was like $10. So here we have the $55 Bluetooth one that connects to your phone. I'll have the link down below for that too. And this one reads lux meter or ppfd. So we're gonna go ahead and put ppfd here. It's reading 103. What you wanna do is you wanna Google what your plant likes the most. In foot candles or in luxes, there's always a conversion rate. And so you can really tell with these meters how much light you're actually getting to the plant. Right here on this Alocasia Pink Dragon, we're getting around 9,000 lux. See, I'm gonna move it around some more. Here's on top of the silver sword, right? This is right where the light is. What is that? 60,000. So it comes with the battery, and all you need to do is just scan that little thing there, download the app, and you're good to go. You can do LED, HPS, which is high pressure sodium lights, sunlight right there, so you can just go out and have some fun and just measure the sun if that's your thing. Okay, so this is the doctor meter. So with this meter, I like to measure in foot candles, 650 foot candles. So I can just hold that there and show you. It also has a peak feature, and then I'll just stay where the highest point was. What's really important, which is the ppfd here. So right about there, what is it? 427. 16 inches. What is that, 575? Just so you guys know, I'm not cheating here. This is gonna be kind of hard. It's probably the best I can get it. What is that, 500? What is that, 620? 607? Can you guys see that? 830 micromoles per second. Zoom in. 600. Okay, we're gonna run this test real quick. Next morning, I taped this onto my phone so I could do it with one hand. Here's about 16 inches. About 625. Let's do about 8 inches as well. About 1,000. Here's 16 inches. Here's about 8 inches. Here is the Sansi bulb. 16 inches. 8 inches. Remember, this is a 10-watt bulb. This is the small aspect, 16 inches. Here's about 8 inches. And there you go. That was just a really quick experiment just so I can get a steady read on all of them at one time with using a 1 ppfd reader here. So I don't know if you guys remember the light video when I showed this leaf that was not even unfurled yet. Look at this thing now. This is the Philodendron plomanii. Wow, look. It is my favorite leaf of my whole plant corner. I love you so much. Okay, so let's get to the questions that you guys had in that last video. Rescue Dog Treats asked, how about a video on how you fertilize these beauties? So there's tons of videos out there on how to fertilize plants, but for me, I keep it very simple. I use my little watering container. I use 1 drop of Super Thrive, a few drops of Grow Big from Fox Farm, and then my soil, whatever soil it is. It could be cocoa, it could be my pond, it could be Fox Farm Ocean Forest. I mix it up with a little bit of Mycos, which is a pure mycorrhizal inoculant, I think it is. It's just like a root enhancer, and it's pretty awesome. I've been using it for many years. Another person asked, looks like you have a Pictum tricolor aglaonema. Where did you purchase it? I do not have one of those. I think I first saw that at the Amazon Sphere when I went with Lizzie.
Aglaonema Pictum tricolor. This is a rare one for sure. This is one I was actually gonna attempt to import, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
It looks so cool because it's camouflage. I believe you got it mistaken for this, the Hilo Beauty. It kind of looks the same, but it's not really it. Stephanie S. Jarvis. Okay, I need to see what you're doing to keep those begonias looking so good. Mine just hate me. I really don't do anything. And they're still inside the soil mix that I bought the planters from. One of them is even from Lowe's. This one's from Lowe's. I just pretty much keep that area around 60 degrees, not 60 degrees, 60 humidity, relative humidity. 70 degrees inside the room. A good rule of thumb is you stick your finger in about 2-3 inches deep, and if it sticks to your finger, that means it's still moist, but if it doesn't, then it probably needs a watering. And I water all my plants until 1/3 to half of the water comes out to the bottom. Another question from Nuri, please share tips for that big red philodendron you showed on the first table. I have that plant and keep killing it. You must mean this one, right? So this is a Macaulay's Finale philodendron. I think just in general, a lot of people overwater. Give it a light aeroid mix, meaning it's very airy, quick draining. Make sure you do the whole rule of thumb with the whole sticking your finger in the soil and making sure it's a little bit dry. And also you could use like a meter or something. Those are really cheap. And if you need one, I'll link it down below. They're called like a moisture meter. They also have like a light meter on there and a pH meter. And it's been doing just fine. I don't even give it that much light. And it just sits in the middle of the room by my frogs. So yeah, looking really good. And so that's all the questions you guys really had. The rest of them were just pretty much extras of what is that humidifier and what's the power on these bad boys. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you for hanging around, and I will see you guys on the next one whenever that is.